reveal show for 2A, 3A, and 4A girls basketball. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Dane, Stewart, Nate Thatcher here with you. We're going to reveal the 2A, 3A, 4A state brackets. We'll also dive into it as we show you a little bit about how the show's going to go. We're going to start off as we'll reveal the 2A basketball state bracket. Then we'll reveal the 3A basketball state bracket. Then the 4A bracket. We'll take a brief break, and then we'll come right back here to dissect, to give you our thoughts on some of the matchups and potential teams positioned for a run in the state tournament. Let's dive right into it, shall we? We are going to start with the 2A girls basketball bracket. And just a reminder, the 2A girls state tournament starts on Wednesday, February 11th. This will be a 2014 tournament with 8 teams qualifying for first-round byes. Let's start. You see, the number 1 seed in 2A is the Kanab Cowboys, coming in at the number 1 overall seed, and then they'll take on the winner of the 16-17 Rockwell and South Summit.
Yeah, Rockwell South Summit could be an excellent matchup. Marshall's led by Cassidy Jessup, averaging over 10 points per game, but the Wildcats could put up a fight.
Your 8 seed team, San Juan, the Broncos, getting a first-round bye as well. They'll take on the winner of American Heritage and Roland Hall in the 9-24 matchup.
American Heritage lost to St. Joseph last year in the second round, but they're going to let you go farther this year. Annie Pearson averaging almost 13 points per game. She's going to be a stellar player to watch in this tournament.
Let's bounce to our next quadrant, the 4-seed quadrant. Coming in at the 4 seed, the North Summit Braves, region champs out of Region 15 with that first-round bye to take on the winner of Mesa Prep and American Leadership.
Yeah, I think North Summit's going to be one of the teams to watch this bracket. Obviously, the 4 seed. They lost to South Severe last year in the state championship, looking to make a comeback this year and try and get the title.
And then that other matchup in this bracket, the 5 seed Duchesne Eagles. They'll play the winner, getting that first-round bye. They'll play the winner of Waterford and Freedom Prep into the 12 and 21.
Yeah, Freedom Prep Academy got second place in Region 16, led by Daniela Jimenez Ferrari. Almost 19 points per game. I know they're the 21 seed, but an excellent player down there.
We'll move on to our 2-seed bracket. Coming in at the 2 seed, you see Beaver High School. Congratulations, great year for Beaver. They'll take on the winner of the 15 seed South Sevier and the 18 seed Grand County.
Yeah, once again, I think a great matchup, but as you mentioned, Beaver, fantastic season, only 3 losses. I'm going to be excited to talk about them when we get to the discussion point.
They will be a team to watch in this tournament for sure. They'll take on the other matchup in that bracket, the 7 seed Millard Eagles will take on the winner of the North Sevier Wolves, and Parowan coming in as the 23 seed.
Yeah, Parowan, obviously a rough season, but Wiley Renzello, a really excellent player for that squad. I mean, Millard's going to be a tough team to go up against once they get on to the second round.
We'll go to our final bracket reveal here very quickly. The 2A state tournament, your number 3 seed, Enterprise, with that first round bye. They'll play the winner of Intermountain Christian and Vanguard. Yeah,
Draper is going to be really good. Enterprise, fantastic team. And there's a reason they're the 3 seed.
And then that final matchup, your 6 seed Draper APA, taking on the winner of Gunnison Valley and APA West Valley.
Yeah, Eagles led by Dan Baldwin in his 8th season. Love Jayla Doolin, 13.5 points per game. Going to be a tough team to go up against.
There you have it, your 2A bracket in full. We'll come back. We'll spend a little bit more time on this one, but we want to get through these bracket reveals, so we're going to move right now to the 3A state tournament. We'll start, again, 3A. This is a 16-team tournament, no first-round byes. And we have a look here for number 1 seed, the Delta Rabbits, to take on the 16th seed, Ben Lomond Scots.
Rabbits, really excellent season. I love everything that they've done this year. Obviously, 19-2 record, extremely impressive. Again, excited to talk about them when we get to them.
They'll take on the winner of the number 8 seed, Union Cougars, to take on the 9th-seeded Richfield Wildcats.
Love the player matchup in this one. Lisa Richards against Lily Crane. That's going to be a really fun matchup as they head into potentially play the number 1 seed in the tournament.
We'll reveal the other half of this bracket. Your number 4 seed, Canyon View Falcons, will take on the 13th-seeded Juab Wasps.
Obviously, last year, Canyon View coming off of the state championship win, looking to get a repeat.
And then the final pairing in this top half of the bracket, Layton Christian coming in as the 5 seed to take on the 12th-seeded Manti Templars.
Yeah, Layton Christian, led by Ava Smith, averaging over 16 points per game. I think Coach Hoagland's got his team in a great spot heading into this tournament.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll move to the bottom half of this bracket, reveal the other 8 teams, their seeding. We'll start with the 2 seed. It is North Sanpete securing that number 2 seed. Great year, taking on the Logan Grizzlies.
North Sanpete, it's got to be the story of the year right now. And again, love what they've done this season. I think I want to talk about Mariah when we get to that discussion point, but all these teams, great players.
Yeah, the other matchup in this pairing, Grantsville coming in as the 7th seed. This is a preseason top 5 team. They'll take on the 10th seeded Carbon Dinos.
Yeah, Carbon Dinos, led by Bailey Johnson, averaging almost 8 points per game, over 2 rebounds a contest as well. Very active player. Love watching her play.
And finally, the last grouping of pairings here, Emory with that 3 seed to take on the 14th seeded Providence Hall Patriots.
Emory lost to that state championship last year. Looking to get a rebound this year. Let's see if they can do it.
Only 2 more teams to come. Morgan in at the 6th seed, your region champs out of Region 12 to take on a region foe, the Ogden Tigers, in at your 11 seed.
Anytime you play a region foe in postseason, there's a little bit of that beef that you want to go back and forth. Obviously, this one, it counts the most out of any of the matchups you had before this.
Let's move on now to our 4A girls bracket as we'll reveal that. You see the 4 seed Desert Hills to take on the winner of Judge Memorial and Bear River in that 13-20 matchup.
Judge Memorial, led by Muna Doe, averaging 16 points per game and almost 8 rebounds per game. So almost a double-double average. I think she's going to be a fun player to watch.
Snow Canyon, you see them getting that bye as the 5 seed, and they will take on the winner of the 12 seed Uinta Utes and the 21 seed Highland.
Okay, so you went to Kennedy Mon, averaging a double-double. 19.4 points per game, 13.9 rebounds per game. Absolutely stellar season from her.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Let's move to our next quadrant, shall we? As we will show you the 2 seed Green Canyon Wolves will play the winner of Tooele and Hurricane, that first round matchup.
Yeah, Hurricane, led by Lainey Walker, averaging almost 12 points per game. I understand they went second to last in Region 9, but again, they could put on a show here.
UC Ridgeline, the 7 seed, they also had a first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Mountain View and Murray, your 10-23 matchup.
Mountain View's got a really good duo I'd watch out for. JC Carlson and Sienna Bramble, both averaging around 13 points per game for the whole season.
We'll move to our next quadrant here in this 4A Girls State Tournament. It's the 3 seed quadrant. Pineview securing that 3 seed with a first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Skyview and Crimson Cliffs.
Yeah, I think Skyview and Crimson Cliffs could be a good matchup. I like Skyview, obviously better record, but Pineview is going to be a tough team to beat if they move on to the second round.
And you see Mountain Crest, the other bye there, in at the 6th seed. The Mustangs will take on the winner of the 11th seed Cedar Reds and the 22 seed Park City Miners.
I know Cedar City finished around middle of the pack there in Region 9, but Gabby Gomez averaging almost 18 points per game.
We've got one more quadrant to reveal for you here. The top seed quadrant in the 4A Girls Basketball State Tournament. Your number 1 seed overall is the Dixie Flyers. They'll take on the 16-17 matchup of Cottonwood and Jordan playing in that first round of the 16-17.
Yeah, Cottonwood, Jordan, a little bit of a close battle there, both in Region 10. So, like I said before, this is where it matters most. I mean, it's win or go home.
And then finally, you see Pro, that last team with a bye to take on the winner of the 9-24 matchup, Timpanogos and Deseret Peak.
Timpanogos, 4th place Region 8, but Michaela Boyer averaging 20 points per game. I think they're going to be a team to watch, obviously, in this tournament.
There's a lot to talk about in these 3 state tournaments. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We're going to diagnose the 2A, the 3A, and the 4A brackets, some matchups we like, some teams to keep an eye on when we come back. You're watching the 2A, 3A, 4A Girls Basketball Bracket Reveal Show on KSLSports.com.
Tell it's gonna be a good day? Well, Wendy's breakfast, like a delish breakfast Baconator, sausage breakfast burrito, or Honey Buddy, can turn your day from bland into OMG, OMG, OMG. Fresh cracked eggs, crispy bacon, and seasoned potatoes. This is so yumma-delicia fast. Is that a word? When you want more out of mornings, gotta be Wendy's.
With a tab spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
How's your card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
To dare mighty things means to embrace challenges. It means to welcome a high-energy culture that prioritizes belonging. To dare mighty things means drawing inspiration from experienced faculty and alums who encourage you to think big. It means to be a part of time-honored traditions while also forging new ones. To dare mighty things means celebrating your achievements with pride and joy, knowing you can make a difference by daring to be great. Join us at the Huntsman School of Business, where we dare mighty things. That's the Huntsman difference.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
Today's play of the day goes to Becky, a single mom who just got her son Max a youth debit card from UCCU.
This is a big win for Max, who knows that UCCU mobile banking makes it easy for his mom to add money to his debit card anytime.
It's also a big win for Becky, who knows it also makes it easy to monitor her child's spending anytime. Final score, 1 happy son, 1 responsible mom.
With the assist from UCCU.
One of those long days working on your feet? Turn your aching feet to happy feet at Salt Lake Running Company. Our award-winning trained staff will provide a custom shoe fitting that will help you find the shoes, inserts, and socks that will make your workday the best it can be. Locally owned and operated for 30 years, SLRC offers rewards, training groups, races, and free community events. Visit us in-store or online today at slrc.com. Your work feet and workout life will get a boost.
Welcome back as we're going to dive into some of these teams in 2A. A good look here at the Kanab Cowboys. And Nate, look, this is the #1 seed, probably the favorite in 2A.
Yeah, clearly Coach Glover's got his girls in a great spot heading into this tournament. I really love Riley Little's game. 21.1 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game. Last year lost in the semifinals, but this year looking to make a really big run. I think they have a proven scorer in Little, but her teammates are going to be able to provide some of that perimeter shooting that provides a threat from all 3 levels of the court.
You see the graphic there, 21-2 overall. Their only losses, PG and Dixie. Those are both playing up. PG, folks, that's the best team in 5A. Dixie's the best team in 4A. Like, this is a very proven Kanab team. They're going to be tough. But if there's a team that maybe can compete with them, has competed with them, it may be their region rival in the Beaver Beavers. This is a team coming in, the #2 seed. They've been great this year as well.
Yeah, Beaver is obviously the 2 seed for a reason. I love Ruby Lerth averaging 15.5, 7.4 rebounds per game. Lost in the quarterfinals last year, but Coach Marshall, in his 30th season here in Beaver, looking to help his girls get a state championship win as the 2 seed, and I think they have the team to be able to do it this year.
You see a couple of those losses to Kanab. They lost both of the matchups against the Cowboys this year. They say it's hard to beat the same team 3 times, right? You can see Kanab has had decisive wins, but maybe Beaver has something for them in the state playoffs. We'll have to see as it unfolds.
And I mean, this is the time of year where magic happens. This is why basketball is the greatest sport on the planet Earth, is because when February and March hits, anything can happen.
One more team we want to just talk about real quickly here in 2A, and that is the North Summit Braves. This has been one of the top teams in the classification for years now. You have a look at some of their big wins this year. What do you expect of North Summit in this playoff run?
So I think they have a really good duo. Obviously, Ellie Stevens is going to be the player to watch, averaging over 18 points per game. But in my opinion, I think Kate Smith is one of the best 3-point shooters in the entire state. So like I mentioned before with Kanab, it's really nice when your top-level scorer isn't the reliability from downtown. It allows other players to step up and, again, provide that scoring from all 3 levels in the half court.
Talk about Kanab, maybe the favorite. The top 3 seeds in this tournament, all coming from Region 16, who they've played multiple times. We'll see if they can hold on to that favorite title, speaking of the Kanab Cowboys, as this state tournament unfolds. Again, action starting on Wednesday, February 11th. In the 2A bracket. You can catch that whole tournament right here on KSLSports.com. Let's move to 3A now. A couple of very intriguing teams in the 3A classification. And really, you start with Delta. I mean, just how good have the Rabbits been this year?
Rabbits have been extremely efficient this season. Obviously, some key wins against Juan Diego and Morgan. A couple close losses against Dixie and Timpanogos, but I really like Jocelyn Christiansen, 14.5 points per game, 6 rebounds a contest as well. Obviously, first place in the region for a reason.
They've been fantastic this year. A team that's undefeated in their region, 19-2 on the year. You see their only loss is Dixie Thibodeau's playing up again. Like, that's going to really prove them or have them be proven for this state tournament run. How about the Region 13 champion, North Sand Peak Hawks? This is a team that has been great as well. They were undefeated in their region. And can they put together a run here, Nate?
They could. I mean, you see that when they played Delta earlier this year, it's only a 5-point loss. But North St. Pete, like you mentioned, story of the tournament, I really like Mariah Schlappe, 15.9 points per game, 5 rebounds a contest. I mean, Coach Jacobson in his first season has got these girls in a great spot to make a run here in February.
This team was picked last preseason in their region, and they won it, and they swept it. Unreal year for the Hawks. We'll see if the Magic can continue in the playoffs.
I honestly think that it can. I know I mentioned earlier anything can happen, but honestly, with these Hawks, it is not only possible, it's realistic.
How about the Morgan Trojans? Region champs in Region 12. This has been a great program out of Morgan for years now. The 6th seed, I was a little surprised by that, Nate.
Yeah, obviously getting first place in Region 12, it's a little low, but like I've been mentioning with all these other teams, they've got the players to do it. Michaela Williams averaging 18 points per game, almost 4 rebounds a contest, and they've been able to put up a fight. I like their key win against North Summit. It shows in that 1-point victory. They know how to win close games. That's what it comes down to here in February and March. Who can pull it out? Because every team you're fighting for, you're all fighting for your life. So it comes down to who wants it more and who can win those really close contests.
That Syracuse game, that might be, that's a team in contention for a Region 1 title in 6A. So again, they've played up. They know what it takes to play really good basketball, match up against good basketball. We'll see if that can help them in the 3A state tournament.
And I also, as we go through all these teams, I really like the coaching across the board, really. And I think not only do you need to have great players when it comes to February and March, you need great coaching. Yeah. This comes down to who can get out in transition, who can thrive off of defensive picks and turnovers to allow offensive opportunities, let your girls shine. And as we go through these teams, it's not only the players, I really like the coaching that these girls are getting.
Coach Mack has done it before. We'll see if he can do it again here in 2026. Let's move to 4A now. A couple thoughts on the 4A state bracket. Let's dive in first with the number 1 seed in 4A, that being the Dixie Flyers. Man, this team has been impressive this year, Nate.
So after 11 losses last season, only 1 loss this year, lost to Ridgeline in the semifinals. But, I mean, there's a reason that they're first overall. In my opinion, I think, as Izzy Hollingshead, 18.6 points per game, and you can talk about the rebounds, but averaging over 4 steals a game. We just mentioned it in the last bracket. Defensive turnovers allowing offensive opportunities. I think that's the reason why the Dixie Flyers are number 1. Their defense allows to set up their offense in great opportunities, and it gets them some really big wins over the course of the season.
A couple region losses, but it's hard to win your entire schedule, right? But this Dixie team has been really, really strong. Let's talk about the Mountain View Bruins. This was a group out of Region 8. They were picked as the region champs. They finished second in that region behind Provo, but this is a team that has a lot of scoring ability.
Yeah, I really like their duo. I mentioned it earlier as we were revealing the bracket, but J.C. Carlson averaging 13.4, Sienna Bramble 12.5. Very amazing when you have 2 players that are averaging in double figures and a little bit over 10 points per game. Again, that provides, when one person's off or one person's on, the defense that your opponent is, they have to focus on someone else. And so that's why I really like this team's setup. When you have a duo rather than just a single star, you're set up great for February.
They split the matchup with the region champ Provo Bulldogs, but then you also saw losses to Bingham, Springville. Again, like, there's a common theme between the teams we're talking about, right? They are playing teams at larger classifications, kind of know what that looks like. We'll see if that can prepare the Bruins. One more team out of Region 11, Green Canyon. I mean, my goodness, what a year for Coach Foster's group. Undefeated in that region. Man, they were so tough.
And I know last year they lost to Snow Canyon in the second round, but I think both of us and a lot of people here are expecting them to go much farther this year, obviously as the 2nd seed overall. So listen, Nelson, now I mentioned before, it could be hard if your star player is the one to rely on in the 3-point range from downtown, but when she's averaging almost 4 threes per game over the course of an entire season, that shows that he's not going to be off very often, and especially when it comes to February and March, I'm going to expect her to have some very big games for the Wolves.
Yeah, we mentioned, there's a couple other teams in all these regions that can compete. I mean, we could talk about Cottonwood, Judge Memorial out of Region 10. Obviously, Mountain Crest, who's been great, Coach Carroll and company there. This 4A tournament feels like there's a lot of teams there. I want to ask you, Nate, if you had to take the 1 seed or the field in this state tournament, where do you think you'd go?
That's a great question. I think for 4A girls, call me confident, but I really like this Dixie team.
Okay.
And so I understand. We've said it before and we'll say it again. This is where the magic happens. But I think the Flyers are set up very well, and obviously because I think they have experience winning, and I think that matters when you get to February and March. Obviously, teams can make runs that, maybe had a close to a 500 season, on the average scale. But if you're a team that is not only, likes winning or has been used to winning, you're expecting to win. I think this Flyers team, that's what they're really good at. They know that they not only want to win, they need to win. And that's why I'm going to pick Dixie to take on this field and win state championship.
Sometimes losing a couple games, too, especially to some region rivals, may help that team get refocused. But look, if there's one thing that Pineview and Snow Canyon know, they're beatable. So we'll find out. I want to remind you can catch the 4A, 3A, and 2A state tournaments right here on KSLSports.com. Your home for all your postseason for your favorite high school and high school sports across the state. We want to thank you for joining us here in our 2A, 3A, 4A girls basketball bracket reveal. We'll have our boys bracket reveal coming up at 10:30. And again, come join us for the rest of these postseason runs. And we'll have great basketball ahead of us as we work on crowning state champions right here on KSLSports.com. KSLSports.com, our 2A, 3A, 4A boys basketball reveal show. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Please be joined by Nate Thatcher. And we're going to dive right into it, the moment we've all been waiting for, folks. Your favorite team, where do they slot out in your respective state tournament? Who are they going to play? Who they got to beat to win a state championship? Here's how the show's going to go. We're going to release the 2A state bracket, the 3A state bracket, and then the 4A state bracket. We'll take a quick break, but we want you to hang around because we're going to be right back here as Nate and I will talk about teams, matchups to keep an eye on in each of those state tournaments. But let's start it off. We're going to dive right into our 2A bracket. Of course, the 2A state tournament, folks, starting on Tuesday, February 10th. And there you have it. Your number one seed, the Kanab Cowboys, coming in at number one. They get a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of the 16-17 matchup between Waterford and Utah Military Camp Williams.
Yeah, I think Kanab, obviously first seed for a reason, but Camp Williams 18 wins this season as well. I understand they're a lower seed, but it's a lot of wins to rack up.
You see APA West Valley securing that other bye in this first quadrant. They'll take on the winner of the 9th-seeded San Juan Broncos and the 24-seed Vanguard Valiants.
Broncos having a great year this year. I really love Trip Palmer averaging almost a double-double, 16 points per game, almost 9 rebounds in contest as well.
Let's move down the bracket to our next quadrant. We will show you the 4 seed, the South Sevier, second place team out of Region 18. They'll take on the winner of Enterprise and Rockwell. Apologies there. Enterprise coming into this one, see if they can maybe build a little momentum in this tournament.
Yeah, Crew Evans averaging 11 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, almost 3 assists a game. I know last year they lost in the quarterfinals. Looking to get a little bit farther this season.
Yeah, we're a little tongue-tied here in 2A. You see the 5th seed, Roland Hall, Winged Lions, Drew Miller and company have been spectacular. They'll take on the winner of Millard and Mazer Prep.
Roland Hall, really good team, 17-6 this season. Love to dive into them when we get into the discussion portion, but Millard could put up a fight here in this first round.
Let's move to our next quadrant. We'll show you the 2 seed. It's North Summit. The Braves, region champs out of Region 15, will take on the winner of the 15-18 matchup between Duchesne and Merritt Prep. North Sevier.
Duchesne, led by Rhett Claiborne, averaging almost 10 points per game. I know they finished near towards the bottom in Region 15, but again, they're led by a really great player.
Yeah, it is North Sevier there in at that 18. You see Gunnison getting the 7th seed, a bye as well. And the Bulldogs taking on the winner of Parowan and Grand.
Parowan lost last year in the second round, but Tate Stubbs, second on his team in threes made, averaging almost 17 points a contest. Again, I know they finished around 5th place in Region 18, but looking to make a run here.
Our final quadrant to be revealed. It is the 3-seed quadrant and your 3-seed ALA. Coach Ross, what a job winning Region 17 to take on the winner of Beaver. And there's Merritt Prep.
Yeah, now we got him down on the bracket. ALA, really great team, 17-5 this season. Like you mentioned, they've done a great job to put themselves in a prime position in this bracket.
You see South Summit, another team out of that Region 15 with the last first-round bye in at the 6th seed to take on the winner of Draper APA and Intermountain Christian.
Draper APA, led by Urban Baldwin, 17 points per game, almost 5 assists per game. So you know he's dishing it out just as much as he's scoring.
We're going to come back and talk about this 2A state bracket, a couple of teams to keep an eye on, some matchups that are interesting as well. But let's move on to 3A, shall we? 3A state tournament, 16 teams making this tournament. You see the top seed, the Morgan Trojans, to take on Ben Lowman.
Trojans, really great team. Bracken Saunders averaging 23 points per game, looking to repeat in the state championship this year.
Meanwhile, the next matchup in this bracket will be the 8th-seeded Canyon View Falcons to take on 9th-seeded Union.
Union, led by Ryan Oakey, 13.2 points per game, also the team leader in threes. I think the Cougars could put up a fight here in this first round.
We'll go to our next bracket. Your region champs out of Region 13, Emory, to take on the Logan Grizzlies in this first round.
Emory lost to Morgan last year in the quarterfinals, but I think Coach Justice has his team in a great spot, led by Porter Sittertud, who's averaging 20.3 points per game.
And finally, the 5 seed is the Juab Wasp, and they'll play Grantsville at Juab.
Yeah, I think Kai Clough is going to be a player to watch here in this postseason. 14.7 a game, 3 steals a contest. So that's one of those players that's really good on the defensive end, sets him up on the offensive end.
Let's move to the top half of this bracket. We'll show you the 2 seed. It's your Region 14 champs, Richfield, to take on the Providence Hall Patriots.
So they're looking to make a comeback after losing the state championship last year. The Wildcats, led by Jorgen Southwick, over 20 points a contest. There's a reason they're number 2.
You see that next matchup, Ogden. This is a preseason top 5 team to take on Manti.
Ogden, led by Jackson Mott, 17 points per game, finished 3rd in Region 12. I think they're going to be a great team to watch here in this 3A tournament.
And the last portion to reveal, American Heritage in at your 3 seed to take on North St. Pete.
Coach Winnitana, 6th season. I think James Matson, though, my favorite player, 23.4 points per game. A lot of these star players, team leader in 3s in this bracket.
And finally, your 6th seed, Delta Rabbits, to host the Carbon Dinos.
Delta, led by Kobe Driggs, 13 points per game. They lost in the 2nd round last year, and I think they have a chance to make it farther this year.
There's some potential runs in this state tournament. Again, we'll come back, we'll talk through it, but let's move to 4A, shall we? 4A, 24 teams making it, 8 teams with the first round bye. You notice your top seed, the Provo Bulldogs. What a job by Coach Collinsworth as they'll take on the winner of Desert Hills and Judge Memorial.
Yeah, obviously we'll talk about Provo when we get to the discussion portion, but Judge Memorial, Eamon Ismail, 17.1 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and averaging over 4 assists. One of the most involved players here in this bracket.
You see Skyview in at that 8 seed. They got a first round bye, your Region 11 champs, to take on the winner of the 9 seed Snow Canyon Warriors and Cedar.
Snow Canyon, Reggie McCabe, almost 20 points a contest, over 6 rebounds a game, involved in both shooting the bucket and also getting a couple boards as well.
McKay's an absolute stud for the Warriors. Let's go to our next quadrant. We'll show you the 4 seed. It's the Cottonwood Colts preseason number 1 to take on the winner of Mountain View and Stansbury.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, Cottonwood preseason number 1, down at the 4 seed. I think they're set up in a great spot right now to, again, make a run and live up to the name we gave them in the preseason.
You notice Dixie, that 5 seed, Coach Roberts enjoying a first round bye. His Flyers will take on the winner of Ridgeline and Bear River, a region matchup in this first round.
As we mentioned in the bracket reveal before this is where it matters most. You have experience playing each other. Now it comes down to win or go home.
We'll move to our next quadrant, our 3rd quadrant in this 4A state tournament. You see the 2 seed, first round bye for the Pine View Panthers, finished 2nd in Region 9. They will take on the winner of a pair of our Region 11 teams, Green Canyon and Mountain Crest, to play for the 3rd time.
Gavin Crane, another really great player from Region 11, averaging over 20 points a contest, over 5 rebounds a game.
You see Juan Diego, 2nd place out of Region 10, coming in at that number 7 seed with a bye to take on the winner of Timpanogos and Summit Academy. Coach Sepena's first year going to have a tough test against this tough Timpanogos group.
Yeah, Timpanogos, Jackson McQuistion, 24 points per game. That's a player that's going to be very active and involved when you have to focus on the defensive end if you want to get a win.
Timpanogos coming off a win over Davis. That's a tricky one. Let's move to our 4th and final quadrant here in the 4A state tournament. Number 3 seed Crimson Cliffs with the first round bye will take on the winner of Murray and Uinta.
Yeah, Crimson Cliffs, again, I think this is another team that's set in a prime position here in this bracket, but Murray Uinta, that's going to be a really good matchup on my end.
And Hurricane in at the 6th seed, first round bye. Love that for our Tigers down south. They'll take on the winners of East and Jordan.
Leopards, led by Oscar Keegan, averaging over 17 a game, looking to get a little bit farther than the first round, which is where they finished their season last year.
Boy, there are a lot of really fun teams to talk about in this 4A boys basketball state tournament. Great matchups to talk about. We're going to come back and dissect it. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. You're watching the 2A, 3A, and 4A boys basketball tournament reveal show on KSLSports.com.
How can you tell it's gonna be a good day? Well, Wendy's breakfast, like a delish breakfast baconator, sausage breakfast burrito, or honey buddy, can turn your day from bland into OMG, OMG, OMG. Fresh cracked eggs, crispy bacon, and seasoned potatoes. This is so yumma-delicia fast. Is that a word? When you want more out of mornings, gotta be Wendy's.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
Cash or card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
To dare mighty things means to embrace challenges. It means to welcome a high-energy culture that prioritizes belonging. To dare mighty things means drawing inspiration from experienced faculty and alums who encourage you to think big. It means to be a part of time-honored traditions while also forging new ones. To dare mighty things means celebrating your achievements with pride and joy, knowing you can make a difference by daring to be great. Join us at the Huntsman School of Business, where we dare mighty things. That's the Huntsman difference.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
Today's play of the day goes to Becky, a single mom who just got her son Max a youth debit card from UCCU.
This is a big win for Max, who knows that UCCU mobile banking makes it easy for his mom to add money to his debit card anytime.
It's also a big win for Becky, who knows it also makes it easy to monitor her child's spending anytime. Final score, 1 happy son, 1 responsible mom.
With the assist from UCCU.
One of those long days working on your feet? Turn your aching feet to happy feet at Salt Lake Running Company. Our award-winning trained staff will provide a custom shoe fitting that will help you find the shoes, inserts, and socks that will make your workday the best it can be. Locally owned and operated for 30 years, SLRC offers rewards, training groups, races, and free community events. Visit us in-store or online today at slrc.com. Your work feet and workout life will get a boost.
Welcome back to our Bracket Reveal Show. Dane, Stewart, and Nate Thatcher here with you. We're going to dive into 2A, 3A, 4A. Let's start with 2A. Nate, it's a great time to be a basketball fan in Kanab. #1 seed in girls, #1 seed in boys.
I know the Cowboys are putting on a show this season, and like you mentioned, it's on both ends for both of these teams. I think what sets the Cowboys apart this year is that their two best players play best inside the arc, but they have a good supporting cast to help on the outside. Very well-balanced team. Kyle Brown, Carson Visser, both of those players averaging over 15 points per game. They're set up in a really great spot, and they have great team chemistry. I think, obviously, that's why it sets them apart from the #1 seed.
They were preseason #1. They were also preseason picked to win this region. They accomplished both of those two tasks. And now the question is, can they finish the deal in 2A? You notice the loss they had right there to North Summit. That's the next team we want to talk about, because this Region 15 champ, if there's one thing we know about the Braves, there's always going to be a Richens. They've also got Tatum Pace. This is a really good team for Coach Priest.
Yeah, you mentioned Pace. He's averaging 19.3 points per game. 58 threes made this season. And Pace is far and away the #1 threat from the perimeter. And I think teams will have to prioritize to limit his open shot ability here in this tournament. I think it really comes down to shot making. Who can make the tough shots? Who can set themselves up in a great spot? And I think the Braves can do that for Tatum Pace and company.
Your 1-2 matchup there. Very, very real possibility. Those two teams could play again for a chance at a state championship. But how about, let's talk about another team here in South Sevier. Team out of Region 18. They finished second. They have some nice wins this year. What do you expect from the Rams in this postseason tournament?
So last year obviously came up just a little bit short in that state championship, but only one other teammate besides Raiden Barney averages in double figures. So Barney averaging almost 25 points per game. So from my point of view, you have a star player that's one of the best in this tournament. Who else can step up? Because this is a point in the season where you can't really just have one player that's, providing all the scoring for your team. You're going to need multiple options. That's going to be my one question mark for the Rams here in the postseason.
A couple teams I'm going to tell you to keep an eye on in this 2A state tournament. This is just, my personal opinion. Let's start with Parowan and the Rams. This was a preseason top 5 team. Been a bit of a tough go this year, tough region record. But man, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of talent there. If they can kind of, round the troops a little bit, I think this team could put together a run. They're in at the 10 seed. They could get themselves to a quarterfinals.
Yeah, you mentioned, again, maybe the record doesn't reflect what kind of team this is. Finished around the middle of the pack in Region 18, but Tate Stubbs, 16.4 points per game, second on his team in threes. Like I mentioned this entire reveal show, I think it matters when your top player isn't the #1 priority from downtown. He can set up 3-level scoring and really get you going from inside the paint. I agree with you.
We did not talk about ALA or Roland Hall, but they both have scoring ability. 2 top teams in Region 17. Also teams to keep an eye on. Coach Ross continues to do a great job, as does Coach Alvarez. They both have scores. You better be ready for those 2 teams. Let's move to 3A. We'll dive into this 3A state tournament a little bit. We want to start with the Morgan Trojans. They've been great this year, region champs, and man, impressive.
Yeah, there's a reason they're the first seed overall, and they're looking to make a repeat. I mentioned that when we were revealing the bracket itself. Got the win last year versus this year's number 2 seed as well, Richfield. But Bracken Saunders, 23 points per game, over 7 rebounds a contest as well. I think Coach Hunt has got his team in a great spot. They've obviously had a couple great key wins against Stansbury and American Heritage, but we've seen them go up against Provo from the 4A bracket and came up less than 10 points in that final column. So I think Morgan's going to be, again, there's a reason they're the number 1 seed. It's going to be a tough out.
Notice they split with American Heritage. Those were the top 2 teams in Region 12. We'll talk about the Patriots a little bit later here. But let's move down to Richfield. Region champs in Region 14. The Wildcats, they're always strong year in, year out. Chance for the Wildcats to put together a run, Nate?
I could say I'm a little bit biased just because I've been at the 1A state tournament the last 3 years, so I consider Richfield a second home for me. I live in that gym for about 4 days of the year. But the Wildcats, like you mentioned, they've been set up very well for the postseason. Jorgen Southwick, over 20 points per game. I really like what they did in Region 14. And again, just like Morgan, they play teams outside of their classification that I think set them up to play teams at their level. And I think that sets them up to get a really good win and potentially make another run and get a state championship this year.
The other region champ in 3A is Emory. And, Sparta's been great this year. That region was super competitive. Any given night, a team could beat another team. They were all very similar in terms of their region record. But Sparta, Porter Ciderud, what do you think of Emory?
Yeah, last year they lost to the Trojans in the quarterfinals. But I think this year they have a chance to get a win and get past. I think they have a chance to make a run. You mentioned Porter Ciderud. That's another player averaging over 20 points per game. And you have to appreciate stars when it drops in your lap like that. And I think Emory has a star player that can really make a run here. Help set up his teammates as well to get some really key wins here in February.
It was only a 1-game separation from 1st to 4th in that region. I mean, it was all super competitive. Manti's in that mix, Carbon Union as well. How about a couple teams? I want to ask you about a couple teams because I felt like there were a couple teams that I thought maybe would have been positioned a little bit differently in this state tournament. Ogden. This was a preseason top 5 team. They're the 7 seed. You talk about Ma. The Tigers, do they have what it takes to maybe upset some teams in this tournament?
Yeah, Jackson Ma is another player that will set himself apart when you watch this tournament. And you mentioned there's a reason because of that. He's averaging over 17 points per game. And I think also when you have a team that had high expectations in the preseason and maybe underperformed just a little bit, maybe they're not expecting where they need to be, that's a chip on the shoulder that's saying, hey, we're expecting more than this. We want more than this. And that can give a little bit of a fire, a little bit of an edge as you head into this tournament where you can see them make a run as a lower seed, even though we're looking at them and saying, maybe that's not where they belong.
Another team for me to keep an eye on is American Heritage. We've seen this program, and they've done a great job of building this. Coach Windetana and company. Look at that. Wins over West Jordan, over Morgan. They split a couple matchups this year. But, man, you better be ready for the Patriots because they can absolutely shoot the rock.
Again, when you have a player that's averaging over 20 points per game, and in this case, James Matson, 23.4 points a contest. That's just hard to limit that type of production, especially when you've had a season, months and months of getting whatever you want against any opponent, really. And then you get into where it matters most, and you're going to say, all right, now it matters. I'm just going to put on a show once again, and I'm going to put my foot on the gas and just go full throttle, and I think that's what sets American Heritage up in a great spot. Again, another good player. I just think we're talking about all these teams and all these brackets, and we're going to watch some star talent where, again, they're not going to play at the next level, but they're really good at high school.
Again, just 16 teams, and we talk about a lot of the parity in this classification. This tournament could go anywhere. This one's going to be a blast to watch. Yeah. And just a reminder, you can catch postseason 2A, 3A, 4A right here on KSLSports.com. We'll have streams for you all the way to state championships. Let's move to 4A, shall we? Because you want to talk about competitive state tournaments. That's what I expect 4A to be. And let's start with the top seed Provo Bulldogs. I mean, Coach Collinsworth, he's got himself a roster. They welcomed him in, Colin Tolstrup. Allen has been fantastic for him. Talk to us about Provo.
Yeah, you mentioned that's a duo. So we've been talking a lot about these single stars for a lot of these other teams in the brackets. Provo has a duo in Makai Allen, 23.1 points per game. Strip, 20 points a contest. So that in itself is rare. You're having two players now averaging over 20 points a game, and especially at this level, that's offensive production where, again, it's kind of like pick your poison. You got to play the whole cake. If I'm going to focus on Makai, then Strip can go off on me. And so as a defense, if I'm preparing for them in this tournament, I'm going to have some question marks on what do I want to set up in the half court to try and stop both of these players from getting whatever they want.
Look at those losses. Dixie, Bountiful, but they're both close. This has been a Provo team, 19-4 on the year. They've been great, and look out for the Bulldogs in this tournament. Let's go down south, shall we? Region 9. This region's been super, super tough as well. The Dixie Flyers, the Fly Boys. And if you watch Colin Simmons, it doesn't take long to fall in love with his game.
Well, there's a reason they're called the Flyers, and that's because they fly around. Just as you mentioned, Simmons, really great player to watch. 18 points a game, 5.8 rebounds per game. And they've been able to challenge themselves. We're noticing that they've been able to play teams outside of their classification, play teams like Bountiful, but again, they got a great win against the #1 seed Provo team in a close contest, 61-59. So I really like where Dixie is set up. They can make a run for sure.
You know, and it's interesting. We'll notice there they played some 5A team, 6A team losses. That loss to Cottonwood. This Cottonwood team was preseason #1. Got off to a bit of a sticky start, but man, they started to find themselves. They come into this state tournament on a 9-game winning streak.
And that's what matters most, is winning when it matters most. And just as you mentioned, Cottonwood's on a hot streak. So it doesn't matter, hey, if I started poorly or if I didn't win as many games at the beginning of the season, well, now I'm winning when it matters most. And when you're on a run, hitting into February, you're going to want to keep that rolling. Just as you mentioned, they are set up in a great spot, and we got a player named Luca. How can you not lose? How can you not lose?
Luca Chichez, folks. 18 points a game, 7 boards a game. You mix that with Malaya 10, 15 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. I said they were preseason #1. My bad, they were #2. Provo was #1. But this Cottonwood team, they've tested themselves. I think they're ready to put together a run. Should be really interesting. Other teams in this tournament, Nate, that you feel like are interesting, can throw a hat in the ring here, are going to be competitive, opportunities to make a run.
Okay, so we talked about duos. Excuse me, it's an early morning. We talked about duos. I think another team that has a really great duo, in my opinion, and sorry as I reference my Holy Bible over here, Pine View Panthers. Jelani Ojegba, 14.7 points per game. Cooper Ranson, 14.7 points per game. Again, when you have not one but 2 players that are averaging in double figures, I think that gives you an edge in this tournament, because typically when it comes to February, early March, your star players are going to shine. I think obviously they're going to stand out. Then when you have 2 of them, again, it's pick your poison, and I think Pineview is going to be a really fun team to watch. And when you have a full team that moves together, that flows together, that can score together, I think that's kind of what sets the Panthers up, in my opinion. It's a team we didn't talk about in that discussion point earlier. They can make a run.
I'll tell you a team I think you got to be on the watch out for, and we mentioned it in the reveal. Timpanogos went over Provo, just beat Davis. This is a group under Coach Golden Ingle, my apologies. A couple years he's been there now. You talk about McQueeston.
Yeah.
Great offense. This has been a team that they've had some highs this season, and you never know what you're going to get them. They have to go through Summit Academy in that first round, then it'll be a matchup against Juan Diego.
Yeah.
I think Timpanogos could put a run in this thing.
Well, we mentioned it when we revealed the bracket. That win against Davis.
Huge.
Because, again, Davis, we've been able to call games for them here at KSL Sports throughout the entire season. Davis is not just a team in an upper classification that you just put on the schedule. Davis is a contender up in that top bracket. And so when you had a chance to walk in, get a win right before the state tournament, holy cow, you made a statement before the bracket actually started. And so I think now, you didn't really put a target on your back, but you kind of walk in now with big shoulders. You're like, hey, I just beat Davis, and I can do the same thing to all of you in this bracket. So I like what you mentioned. Timpanogos is a team to watch.
It's a team to watch. We haven't mentioned about any team up north. We got to talk about Cache Valley, because it feels like the 4A state tournament, there's always a Cache Valley team or 2 that is in it at the end. Skyview, Ridgeline, Green Canyon, Mountain Crest, there's a host of teams up north that are positioned to make impressive runs, upset some teams here in 4A.
Yeah, that's an impressive region in this bracket. And like you mentioned, maybe people could disagree about where they're placed seating-wise. Skyview, led by Zach Oxborough, over 16 points a game, over 5 rebounds a game. Ridgeline, Cam Earl, second on his team in threes, almost 13 points per game. And just like you mentioned, we're taking a look at Skyview right now. When teams are from this area or in this bracket, you got to look out for them because they're definitely going to be involved. Obviously, we see close losses versus Cottonwood and Wasatch, but they got to win versus Clemson Cliffs. They got to win versus Ridgeline. This is a team that can get some good wins here in this bracket.
You talked about Oxborough, McCade Roll, folks. That is a legacy in Cache Valley. In case you don't know, father played at Utah State. McCade is an absolute stud at that guard position. He's been great for them this year for the Bobcats. Watch out for Skyview. I feel like this Cache Valley group is underseeded in this tournament.
Yeah.
But we talked about a ton of good teams in 4A. You really can make an argument the top 8, 10 teams. We didn't even talk about Judge, East, Crimson Cliffs, who won that region. Like, there's a whole host of teams in 4A. This tournament is going to be extremely competitive.
We talked about it when we released the girls bracket. You asked me, do I want to take the number 1 seed or the field? This is a no-brainer. I'm taking the field because, like you mentioned, there's teams 1 through 8, maybe 1 through 10 that can make a run. And I think that's what makes this sport so beautiful is that, again, it doesn't matter what you've done before this. Now here's where it starts. Obviously, it does matter because it set you up to be in seeding and to build team chemistry together. But magic happens, and I think 4A, this is going to be like Disneyland. This is going to be where the magic happens. And I think Mickey Mouse is going to have his little magic wand and tap it on this 4A bracket. There's going to be some fun games to watch.
4A, the best place on earth, right? Happiest place on earth.
That's right,
It'll be at Weaver State, your semifinals and state championships this year. But that'll do it for us here on our Bracket Reveal Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Your 2A, 3A, 4A state brackets revealed right here. And of course, want to remind you, you can catch playoff games live streamed, semifinals and championships on KSLSports.com. Also on the KSL Sports app. Download it by using QR code here or go to your favorite application for apps. You can stream it right to your phone, online, whatever. All postseason coverage, including championships, right here on KSLSports.com. For Nate Thatcher, everyone here at KSL, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.